have the honor of closing out the call. We're going to go ahead and lock the call down. The lines are muted, and the call is ready to go ahead and launch. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Paul Lovato out of Denver, Colorado. Sorry, I was just a little bit late this morning. We're having some trouble getting the line bridged over to record it. And unfortunately, it's all about teamwork. I was able to go ahead and get one of my teammates to take care of that for me. So, welcome. I am so excited to be here on this 28th of June. And it's just really, really exciting to put ourselves in a position to go ahead and have an opportunity to move forward with some incredible momentum that's occurring right now all across the nation. Here we are on this Wednesday focus call, and what I'm so excited about is that we have something that is very, very significant that's happening in this cycle 4, is that we are preparing for a promotion of promotion, is what I'm hearing. The buzz that's going on right now in DJ International is that there is going to be lots of money on the table. And I don't know about you, I love to have free money on the table. The only question is, how coachable am I that I can understand the rules to get my piece of the pie? And so what I encourage us to do, ladies and gentlemen, is to go out and get a clean sheet of paper. I'm going to share with you 10 points that are going to really rate yourself, and most importantly, have your coach rate you to answer this question to yourself. How coachable am I? I remember the first time I went through this exercise, well over 15 years ago. It absolutely revolutionized my understanding of blind spots. The blind spots are one of those things that everybody else can see, but we can't. We've all been on the freeway, seeing people change lanes. We'll go, oh my gosh, the car's right there in their space, but they couldn't see that because they had a blind spot. Well, one of the wonderful things about answering this question of how coachable am I, as we go through these 10 steps, I'm going to go quickly, ladies and gentlemen. Do you want to go ahead and write those out? Write 1 through 10. Leave yourself 1 to 2 spaces between each number, because you're going to take some notes on that, okay? So here's the process that you determine your coachability, ladies and gentlemen, and that is one of the key things about coachability, one of the key things about results here at DJ International. One of the key elements is that, and I love what Rusty Alki says, is that results matter. And one of the key things about determining your coachability is this paradigm that cannot be changed, and that is the reality is that results matter because behavior never lies. I would write that at the top of your page, ladies and gentlemen. Behavior never lies. Okay? Words will lie, but behavior tells the story. Okay, so I like to put it this way. Do we have the behavior to be coachability, or is it just bravado for our coachability? Okay, so let's determine some of the behavior that we have in our steps 1 through 10, and really understanding that blind spots are a reality in all of our lives, okay? All of our lives, and that is that we have the ability to have, let me go ahead and unmute the launch here. Hold on here. Hello. Great, wonderful. I'm going to go through the lines. I got 3 text messages to unmute. Okay. If anybody's on the moderator line, that'd be wonderful if you could just go and tell me that everything's coming through clearly. Not quite sure what's going on. So we're going to move forward, ladies and gentlemen. Is that, am I coachable? Now, these 10 questions, ladies and gentlemen, these 10 steps that we're going to go for to determine whether it's behavior or bravado in our coachability. They've come to me from Success Magazine. This is a magazine that I've had a subscription to for well over 10 years, probably close to 15. I love the fact that there is an outside source of professionalism that I've been able go ahead and learn how to go ahead and actually develop coachability. You see, one of the key things about being coachable is that we become professional students in network marketing, network distribution, which brings us to the new OTW network distribution system by David Moses. Ladies and gentlemen, I've taken a look at that, looking forward to getting through that. It is an incredible system that now you can plug your team into instantly, because one of the key things is that people are able to go ahead and download that and begin the process of determining how coachable are they. So let's go ahead and move forward with question number 1 in the analysis. We're going to rate ourselves on a scale of 1 to 5. 5 is being I am extremely coachable. I do everything that they ask me to do. That's going to be, quite honestly, a rarity. But there are going to be some areas of these 10 questions that you will rate yourself anywhere from a 1 to 5. What I encourage you to do is be totally honest with yourself. And then the wonderful thing is the exercise that's going to be interesting is when you ask the very same questions to your coach, and you actually compare notes, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, you're going to compare notes of whether or not you get to the same number. So at the end of this survey, if you will, you're going to determine, how coachable are you by having a number that we keep track of. So let's go ahead and move forward with item number 1. Am I coachability? What is my attitude toward my blind spot? So question number 1 is, do I have a reliability? This is the question. Do I have a reliability to take coaching seriously or curiously? Do I have a reliability to take coaching seriously or curiously? Rate yourself on 1 to 5 on that. Okay? Question number 2. I believe the right time for me to accept coaching is now. I believe the right time to accept coaching is now. Okay? Again, rate yourself on 1 to 5. Okay? Going a little bit slow so people can actually be involved with this process here. So I believe the right time for coaching, right time for me to accept coaching is now. Okay? Question number 3. This is a great question. I am willing to do the work and let the coach do the coaching. I am willing to do the work and let the coach do the coaching. Okay, great question. And once again, rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 5. Okay. Remember, a perfect score here is going to be 50, and we want to be very truthful with ourselves here. Okay, because remember, the paradigm that flows over this whole thing is behavior never lies. Question number 4. I keep my word without struggling or self-sabotaging. I keep my word without struggling or self-sabotaging. That's question number 4. And again, once again, rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 5. Okay. Question number 5. I give my coach the benefit of the doubt, and I'm willing to try new things. I give my coach the benefit of the doubt, and I'm willing to try new things. Okay. Very good. So, question number 6. I tell the whole truth to my story, to myself. I tell the whole truth to myself. By the way, this question is going to be key when it's answered when you compare your score with your coach's score. Okay? So question number 6, you might want to put a little asterisk there. I tell the whole truth to myself. Question number 5. I can express what I need or expect, and I can share it easily. I can express what I need or expect, and I can share it easily. Okay? Great question to ask yourself, and the reason that's so important is this is a two-way street. It's not just about hearing, it's about giving. Okay? So question number 8. self-defeating behaviors which limit my success. I am willing to change self-defeating behaviors which limit my success. It's going to be a really important question for your coach, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. So that's question number 8. Question number 9, and we're going to move on to some additional wonderful training about coachability. That's an incredible nugget for you. Question number 9, I see coaching as a worthwhile investment in my life. I see coaching as a worthwhile investment in my life. Question number 10. I am someone who can share the credit for my success with my coach. I am someone who can share the credit for success with my coach. Now, what you've done, ladies and gentlemen, is 10 questions, okay? 10 questions that you want to be very honest with yourself, okay? And then the questions are going to be rated 1 through 5, okay? And what you're going to do is take and add up all those questions, and add up all those numbers, rather, and get a final tally. Now, if you find yourself with a 50, I really encourage you to go back and do this again with your coach's help. I really do. There may be a few in the world, but boy, I tell you what, they are rare, okay? Those people that are perfectly coachable, okay? And I just really encourage you to be honest with yourself. So we're going to have 4 categories. 41 through 50 is I am very coachable and willing to give permissions 100% to my coach. That's category number 1, 41 through 50. Category number 2 is 31 through 40 points off of this system, okay? And then I'm coachable, okay? But, you know, I have a few reservations about permissions, okay? And then category number 3 is 21 to 30. I'm coachable, but I need more willingness to learn, okay? This is probably going to be where a lot of people are, okay? Okay, I'm coachable, but I need more willingness to learn, okay? And then category number 4 is a score of 10 to 20, and that is I'm not coachable. Okay? Now, this is really important to have been honest with yourself, ladies and gentlemen. This is kind of like, you know, you don't want to take the test with the answers in mind, as far as knowing the answers at the back of the book. You want to answer the question and then look at the results later. Okay? So I encourage you to go back to them and go through these questions one more time very quickly. Number 1, essentially, am I reliable to take coaching seriously or curiously? Number 2, I believe this is the right time for me to accept coaching. Number 3, I am willing to do the work and let the coach do the coaching. Number 4, I keep my word without struggling or self-sabotaging. Number 5, I give my coach the benefit of the doubt and I'm willing to try something new. Okay. Number 6, I tell the whole truth to myself. Okay. Number 7, I can express what I need or expect and I share it easily. Number 8, I'm willing to change self-defeating behaviors which limit my success. Number 8. Number 9, I see coaching as a worthwhile investment in my life. And then, of course, number 10, I am someone who can share the credit for success with my coach. Very important, ladies and gentlemen. Now, what I want you to do is take a look at that and give yourself that number, give yourself that total, put yourself in that final category. And what I encourage you to do today is to take these questions, spend some time with it, make a call to your coach after you've done this exercise today, okay? Maybe after the call. But the key thing you want to do is you want to have your number, and you want to share that number with the 4 different categories of I'm very coachable, number 1. Number 2, I am coachable. That's 31 through 40. Number 3, 21 to 30, I'm coachable, but I need more willingness. Then number 4, which is I'm not coachable. Okay? So put yourself in that position to understand that you want feedback from somebody else, because that's what removing the blind spots is all about. Okay. So now what I want to do is take this information and do something with it today in regards to the incredible system that we have in place right now that just was released by David Moses on One Team Worldwide. If you haven't seen it, ladies and gentlemen, I strongly encourage you to invest in your personal library. One of the key things about network marketing is that I love the reality of what this business really is. A personal development program with a comp plan. And the question that you want to ask yourself is that, am I willing to do the work in working harder on myself than I do on my business, or even in school, for example? I mean, I have individuals that have really good intention, and they want to do the business. They put so much energy into their, for example, their schoolwork. They don't really have to. Now, that's okay, ladies and gentlemen, because it addresses the reality of how coachable you are. Because one of the key things that I've learned over the years is that coachability begins with availability. See, you can have the best intentions to be coachable, but if you're not available, there is not going to be a change in your behaviors. There's not going to be a change in the results. There's not going to be a change in your business. See, the reality is that coaching has to do with being plugged in with what we call application knowledge. See, we have a full system of success, okay? We have a full system of success that tells you everything that you need to do. It starts with your, for example, your getting started training. Really developing your why. Developing a list of resources, as I like to call it. The resources of how we're going to build our business, okay? Learning the invitation, the presentation, the validation. Having your first successful event. And then what's a successful event? Making an appointment to start the event, okay? And having what I call a PBR coach, for example. How successful are you at interacting with a PBR coach? Or do you just take a look at, for example, many teams have a process. We have what's called a 7-step push-play PBR document training, okay? And that's something that is extremely valuable, but right within the document, it's so interesting to see, it gives you every single step, and it talks specifically about having a PBR coach starting 5 days in advance of the PBR. And it's amazing how many people have their PBRs and have never picked up the phone to speak with their coach about their PBR until they need to close out that night. Okay? And so one of the key things you want to do is one of the biggest attributes of coachability is paying attention to details. Okay? Because, you know, the fact of the matter is that those details can make a huge difference in the outcome that we have. And so all this that I just shared with you about, for example, these very fundamental steps of network marketing, these very, very fundamental steps that give you results to get a fast start in your business, are all wrapped up in your getting started training. But what I've noticed is that we often take the getting started training and we begin to pick and choose. I like what my pastor used to tell me way back in Texas years ago. That, you know, he was talking to us, he was talking to the board, and he was saying, you know, so many people want to be word people. In other words, people that just put their whole life on a philosophy based on, for example, for us at that time, was the Bible. Okay, everybody around the table was involved in that philosophy. But he said something very interesting that I never forgot. He said, everybody wants to be that word person. Everybody wants to follow the perfectly, ladies and gentlemen. But very few people are, because what most people are favorite word people. And what he was referring to is that we have a tendency to pick and choose what are our favorite parts of the system. And those things that are not favorite, what we do is we change them. Without really knowing, we reinvent them. And so the question I want to ask you is, what is your attitude toward the actual steps that we have? For example, in the very simple getting started system that we have, and that is, have you spent time with your wife nurturing it? Or did you treat that like an event where you completed the task, you got rated by the teacher, you're done, and you forget about it? Okay? And you don't even think about that step until we get to maybe our quarterfinals or our finals in university, for example. That's not what we need to do here at DC International. What we need to do now is ask the question today, okay, that where do I sit today with this particular task of where am I with nurturing my why? Where am I today with continually growing my list and updating my list? One of the key things about the list of resources is that the quality of the people that you put on there has everything to do with the results. We call it sponsoring up. And so the question you want to ask yourself is, how coachable am I in upgrading my list? Or did I just complete the list, I'm done, and I don't think about it again? See, it's an ongoing process. So if you think of your list of resources as maybe in this manner, every single time you put a new list, a new name on your list, maybe it's somebody you met at the store, maybe it's somebody that sold you a car, maybe it's somebody that sells you a car insurance, whatever the case might be. But every time you put that new person on your list, ladies and gentlemen, it's a $50 bill. Okay, so the question I ask you is, how many people would you put on that list today? New people. Okay, brand new people. Not going through the treadmill of the old people calling for the 15th time. Okay, many times the best thing you can do to those people is let them go and let them come to you. Okay, let them go, and they will come to you. You will find. And so the other question is, so you've got your why, you've got your list of resources. Now, what do you do with this? Are you being coachable of how to do an invitation? How to let the system do the presentation? Do you know, ladies and gentlemen, which part of the presentation system is best for this prospect? And that's where being plugged into that coach is key. This is what I like to do, is receive the list for the people I'm coaching and work with them. Oh, you know what, this would probably be good for us to do a one-on-one call with them. Maybe it's a doctor, an attorney. They need more specific detail because of their background. And maybe this is, I see on the list there's 5 teachers. You know, why don't we do a conference call with 5 teachers, and we're going to tailor it toward education professionals. So in other words, do you know the tool chest of how you're going to expose people to the presentation, right? So that's very, very important. Now, what I want to leave you with is something that we're all very familiar with. And I love this exercise. I do it once a month. I really do. And it's made a huge difference in my life, ladies and gentlemen, because, again, I don't want to approach the concept of coachability as an event. It's an ongoing process, and that is if you go to One Team Worldwide and you click on the video, Am I Coachable? I watched it at least once a month, and what I determine is that I always have something that I have to work on. Okay? One of the things that I've been privileged to be involved with is coaches that said, you know what, Paul, one of the greatest things, quite honestly, you don't have to be the fastest learner, ladies and gentlemen, but as long as you're coachable and consistent, you can stay in the game. But here's the key thing that my coaches over the years have shared with me. I hope that you begin this process, and that is they'll say, you know what, you always give permission to make adjustments. See, that's the thing is that what I encourage you to do is to grant that permission, because as I like to say, it's a whole different conversation when you call your coach, asking questions about the process that you're involved in, whether it's building your list, developing your why, being involved with the push play PBR, learning how to do the invitation, so on and so forth, learning how to do a 3-way call. Okay? But do you give permissions for them to share with top income earners in this industry were not 50s on the first day of class, okay? And if you're a 10 or a 20 right now, it's okay. Because I love what Jim Rohn said. He says one of the key elements of success in getting to your goals, scanning that chasm of where you want to be and where you're at today, is determining truthfully where you're at. If you're in the sticker patch, don't say that I'm in the Garden of Eden. If you're in the sticker patch, ladies and gentlemen, acknowledge I'm in a sticker patch and make a determination. I don't like sticker patches. Okay? I talked about that in Developing Your Why several weeks ago. In other words, let what you don't want fuel you to accomplish what you do want. For example, maybe you are like myself. I did not want to have a 1 to 2 hour one-way commute any longer. I didn't want that anymore. I was tired of it. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I had a burning desire to get that done. And it was able to happen because of plugging into a system, plugging into a process of doing these very simple tasks. And the reason I wanted to keep these tasks very simple today is to really underscore that as you're going through the brand new series that David Moses, and I encourage you all to be getting that, is that it's a series called Network Distribution System. Okay? It's an incredible process, but every single step you should be asking yourself, how coachable am I at this particular step? And then picking up the phone, working with your coach, and asking them, how coachable am I? Okay? So I just really encourage you, ladies and gentlemen, to take this 10-question survey, spend some time with it, spend some time with your coach, ask yourself these questions honestly, and then here's what you want to do. Make an appointment, put it on your calendar. 30 days from now, we'll do the very same thing. 30 days from today. Well, it doesn't matter what day of the week it is. Okay? And put yourself in a position to assess your coachability. And I would love to know that this made a difference in your life because of the fact 30 days from now, you're a lot closer to your goals. Because as I like to always say, behavior never lies, and that behavior is going to show up in the activities that you have in your business. Okay? So with that in mind, it's been a pleasure to go ahead and share with you, ladies and gentlemen, today, Wednesday, June the 26th, we have an opportunity to be inviting to an event tonight. One of the biggest calls in our entire system is the Russ Bianchi Steak Talk call. And maybe you can have a goal. I want to have 1 or 2 or 3 guests. Maybe you're one of those superstars like Mr. Dale Taylor that's going to have 5 guests. I mean, it's just amazing what that gentleman does with all the guests that he has on the call. Whatever it is, determine to be on that call tonight with someone that can enter into your business, whether it's 1 person or 5 people. But that call, ladies and gentlemen, is part of our system of success. Promote that to your team. And you know what? Maybe coach some people. And one of the key elements is why not inspect what you expect? You know what? Ask the people that you're working with permission whether they want to go ahead and share their invitation with you. You know what? It's going to be surprising to you. And so anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure to go ahead and be with you today. If we've got any comments from individuals on the moderator line that would like to go ahead and announce any events, otherwise we're going to go ahead and open up the lines and move on with the rest of our day, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the lines are